Went straight to the lead. Dissident is running on late, then Pirandello and Hook, but it's El Roca clear, and he looks to have the prize safely in his keeping here. El Roca, too good for Dissident. Romantic Touch ran on well for third, and then Pirandello hooked, and last in was Aussies Love Sports.
Hi, Scott Darby here. I'm delighted to present to you this outstanding quality colt by El Roca out of Bead of Courage. Bred and raised over on the rich New Zealand pastures, this remarkable colt was purchased at the recent New Zealand Premier Sale over in New Zealand. He is one of the best moving colts you're ever likely to see. He really is very athletic and very light on his feet. He's going to be very agile. He's got a very good length of body, enabling to have a huge stride, and he has plenty of scope to develop as a 2-year-old, 3-year-old and beyond. I think this bloke is bred to be more of an autumn 2-year-old. Be targeting races like the Sires, Produce, Champagne Stakes, but he'll certainly excel as a 3-year-old and beyond. He looks the ideal sprinter miler. So those races, as a 2-year-old, will really fit in nicely. The Sires, Produce, Champagne Stakes, and as a 3-year-old, a race like the Caulfield Guineas would suit this bloke down to a T. He's a high caliber colt that looks like we've purchased him at exceptional value. He's got a great pedigree. Now, El Roca, you may not have heard of El Roca. He did race over here in Australia. He's by Australia's champion sire, Fastnet Rock. He won 3 races in a very short career, including the listed Eskimo Stakes. He ran second in the Group 1 Guineas over a mile, and he ran second in the Group 3 Liverpool City Cup. He also ran third in the Group 1 George Ryder Stakes. So as you can see, very high-class stakes, El Roca. He was a sprinter miler himself. He defeated in his races Group 1 winners Criterion, Dissident, Sacred Fours, Terra Vista, Boban, Fat Owl, Long John, My Kingdom of Fife, Red Tracer, Romantic Touch, Streamer and Alonte. So he raced against some very good horses and competed in some of the best races we've got. In fact, Timeform rated him right up there as a 3-year-old at a rating of 121, and he looks a superior looking stallion. So El Roca, very new to the stallion ranks, and we've got one of the first El Rocas to be sold, so it should be very exciting. Bead of Courage by Captain Rio. She herself was a 5-time winner in New Zealand, so this is all New Zealand stock on the female side here, and as I said, this colt was bred and raised on those rich New Zealand pastures, and we know what the New Zealand stock can do here in Australia. Bead of Courage's full sister is named Cruiser. She was Group 3 placed and won on 3 occasions, and Bead of Courage is closely related to that champion 3-year-old and older horse, Silent Achiever. Now, if you haven't heard of Silent Achiever, have a listen to this. He won 10 races and over $3 million in stakes earnings. She was a 4-time Group 1 winner, 3-time at Group 2, and once at Group 3. She was an absolute superstar that raced here in Australia and in New Zealand. Bead of Courage also hails from the family of Don't Say Halo, who was a very successful sire here in Australia. This is a very distinct winning New Zealand family, and being that this colt, as I said, bred over on those New Zealand pastures from that New Zealand family, all goes well as a high-class horse here to race in Australia. Bjorn Baker's done a terrific job. Again, an ex-Kiwi that now lives in Australia. He's been very good with the 2-year-olds, Bjorn, in the last few years. He's trained unencumbered to win a Magic Millions, winning Rupert almost undefeated, now standing at stud. Twilight Royale was a high-class 2-year-old, Fariza, and Brilliant Terror, who was sold to Hong Kong from the Baker stable. He's had the Group 1 winner, Music Magnate. He sits always top 10 in the Australian Trainers Premiership. Trains out at Warwick Farm, and he's also the son of legendary New Zealand trainer Murray Baker. He's a very astute trainer and a very good placer of horses, and I'm sure he's going to do a terrific job with this outstanding colt. Some of the crosses, the breeding crosses that are very important for you breeding buffs out there. El Roca out of Bead of Courage. As we said, bred to be a sprinter miler, so sprint early and get out to a mile. He has a double cross of Danzig, who is the sire of Danehill. So that's a great cross to come up in his pedigree. And a double cross of Nijinsky. Nijinsky was a son of Northern Dancer, and Nijinsky won the 1964 Kentucky Derby and had a time form rating of 138. He was an absolute superstar. This colt we have on offer is also bred on the similar patterns to our superstar sprinter Lankan Rupee. Lankan Rupee won over $4 million in 5 Group 1 races. He won 10 races overall and was one of Australia's very, very best sprinters. So this colt is bred on similar patterns to the Lankan Rupee. So look guys, really nice colt. He's an outstanding colt. He's arrived here in Australia. He begins his breaking in now, and we'll try and get him up for the early 2-year-old races. But where I think you'll see him excel, as I said, is come the autumn next year when those big races are on, like the Size Produce and the Champagne Stakes. I think you'll see this bloke really come into his own, but I really do think the race for him down the track will be a race like the Caulfield Guineas, a real stallions making race that is. Well, why come and race with Derby Racing? Well, firstly, Derby Racing have the runs on the board where we've won a Golden Slipper last year. We ran second in it the year before. We've won 4 Group 1 races, countless Group 2, 3 enlisted races. Our owners have shared in over $10 million in the last 2.5 seasons. And also, very important, we're very well known for our honesty and integrity, and also our communication to our owners. We work extremely hard to bring you all the information from the trainers, pre-race reports, post-race reports, videos, photos, whatever we can do to make your experience better. Our results speak for ourselves. We're one of the leading syndicators in Australia, and we'd love to have you on board in this remarkable colt, bred in New Zealand by El Roca out of Bead of Courage. Come and join us.